Hare Krishna, dear devotees, my humble obeisances to you all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you all for joining. Today we are going to continue our Bhagavad Gita series of chapter 8, given by Her Grace Prem Kisori Mataji. Hare Krishna, Prem Kisori Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances, all goes to Prabhupada, and all glories to Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for your time and association. You can please take over.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you for Srimati. Thank you for organizing this. Okay, we'll start with Mangalacharan. I will just share my screen. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you and we can see your slides.
Thank you. Omagyan Timirandasya Gyananjan Charakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamahiyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Hey Krishna Karna Sindhu Dinbandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kantha Radha Kantha Namastite Taptakanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishbhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priyai. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advait Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakti Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshadarine. Okay, welcome everyone to overview of Bhagavad Gita, day 8 of 18. And today we'll be going over the overview of chapter 8, which is called Attaining the Supreme in Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita as it is, or Akshara Brahma Yoga in Baldev Vidyabhushan Prabhupada's translation of Gita Bhushan. Let's pay our obeisances to Shri Radha Govinda, but you can pay obeisances to them or to your deities. This is what was discussed yesterday by Guru Maharaj, chapter 7, which is, what is the name of chapter 7? Prabhupada's book. What's the name?
Knowledge of the Absolute.
Knowledge of the Absolute. Thank you. So, glories of knowledge about Krishna, where verse 1 is very important, where Krishna emphasizes on the importance of hearing about him and how just by hearing about him, it cleanses the heart. Then knowledge of Krishna's energies and then surrendering onto Krishna. Then Krishna gives a glimpse of demigod worship and impersonalism, where he also discusses 4 kinds of people who surrender unto me and 4 kinds of people who don't surrender unto him. And then from delusion to devotion. This chapter 8 has 28 verses for understanding purposes. Oh, I won't be presenting as section wise, but for understanding purposes, especially in Bhakti Shastri, it is divided into 6 sections, where first part consists of first 4 verses, where Krishna answers Arjun's questions, and Arjun asks 8 questions. So chapter 8, 8 questions. Then out of the 8 questions, he answers 7 questions in 2 verses, verse 3 and 4. And then he spends practically the entire chapter answering the last question, which Arjuna asked, how to remember you at the time of death. From verse 5 onwards, practically every verse is the answer to the last question. From verse 5 to 8, remembering Krishna at the time of death. Then 9 to 13, this 5 to 8 verse emphasizes the importance of remembering Krishna at the time of death. Then 9 to 13 emphasizes on practicing meditation as a practice to remembering Krishna at the time of death. Then he gives a glimpse of 14 to 16 verse pure devotional service as a means of remembering Krishna at the time of death. And then he compares, if we don't come to me at the time of death, then you stay in material world, but if you come to me, then you come to spiritual world. So he gives a comparison of what's what. It's like sometimes when we are planning to go on vacation, should I go here or go there? Should I go to Mayapur or should I go to Mumbai? So that's like, okay, should I go to Krishna, the material world, or should I stay in material world or spiritual world? And then last verses 23 to 28, supremacy of devotion in attaining the supreme. So he gives his opinion out of meditation and pure devotional service, what he emphasizes is most important way of remembering Krishna at the time of death. So these are the questions that Arjun is asking. I will present in a simplified manner as well. This is just an overview. Arjun inquired, "O my Lord, O Supreme Person, what is Brahman? That's one. What is the self? What are fruitive activities? What is this material manifestation? And what are demigods? Please explain this to me." So he's asking 5 questions in the first verse. Then he says, "How does the Lord of Sacrifice live in the body? And in which part does he live, O Madhusudana? How can those engaged in devotional service know you at the time of death?" So these are 8 questions. One, I will show you the table. The table will come in 2 slides down. This is the table. So he's asking Krishna, what is Brahman, which is spirit? Or Krishna answers, Brahman is Jiva or soul, which is indestructible living entity. And he says, Adhyatma or controller of the body, which is the nature of the Jiva itself. Karma or fruitive activities, which Krishna defines as karma in this chapter as actions which lead to the formation of another material body. What is this material manifestation or Adibhuta, material nature? What is Adidev or the universal form of Krishna, supreme demigod, universal form which includes all demigods? What is Adi Yagna or enjoyer of sacrifice? Paramatma. Where does Adi Yagna reside? In the heart of all. How to remember Krishna at the time of death? Practice remembrance throughout life. This is in a nutshell. The question may be raised that what makes Arjuna ask these questions? Where are they coming from? So in 7th chapter, Arjun heard Krishna saying these things. Chara marana mokshaya mam ashrita yatanti te brahma yad tad vidhu kritsam adhyatmam karma cha akhilam sadhi bhutadi devam mam sa adhi yagnam cha ye vidhu prayana kale api cha mam te vidhu yukta chetasaha. So Krishna is using these words, right? Jarana marana mokshaya. Jara means old age, right? Marana means death. Mokshaya means getting free from or liberated. Mam ashrita yatantite. So somebody who takes mam ashrita, ashra means shelter, takes my shelter, gets free from the cycle of old age and death. Te brahma tad vidhu kritsam. Brahma, that soul, Adhyatma karma cha akhilam, gets situated in its own constitutional position. So Brahma is soul, Adhyatma is the nature of the self. So Krishna is using these words in 7th chapter, verse 29, and then he's using Saadhi Bhuta Adhi De Sadhi Bhuta Adi Devam Mam Saadhi Yagnam Cha Ye Vidhu Prayana Kale Api Cha Mam Te Vidhu Yukta Chetasaha. He's saying, okay, attains the constitutional position and also comes to me. So Arjun is hearing. So he's saying, Krishna, you use these words, Brahma, Adhyatma, Adidevam, Adhiyagna, Prayana Kale. What does it mean? What does it mean? So that's the origin or foundation of Arjun asking these questions to Krishna in chapter 8, beginning. So Krishna starts answering, and as I said, 7 out of 8 answers are given in verse number 3 and verse number 4. The Supreme Lord said the indestructible transcendental living entity is called Brahman, and his eternal nature is called self. So that's Brahman answer is the soul, and Adhyatma, or what is this nature of the self, is that eternal nature of the self is that it is indestructible. What is karma or fruitive activities? Action pertaining to development of these material bodies called karma or fruitive activities. In Bhagavad Gita, karma is defined as in many ways. So in chapter 8, whenever we are going to use the word karma, it means we do activity and it leads to development of another material activity. It is not in chapter 9, Krishna defines nature of the self, even in chapter 2, in conditional stage as constitutional and conditional. So over there, the word karma is defined as a nature or activity which a conditioned soul does in its conditional stage. And of course, in chapter 4, we read another intricacies, verse number 16 and 17 in chapter 4, where he describes intricacies of karma are hard to define. one must know what is karma, akarma, and vikarma. So over there, karma is defined as fruitive activities as well. Okay, so these are the activities which lead to development of another material body. I guess everyone understands this slide, that if somebody is eating anything and everything, then they're associating with that particular mode of material nature. Nature, under supervision of Krishna, will give another comfortable body to enjoy that propensity. Somebody is cultivating simple fruitive activities or charity or austerity for the sake of going to higher planetary system, then they get birth in the higher planetary system. Somebody is doing dog-like activities, then they get dog-like body. Somebody is doing pure devotional service, they get a place in Krishna's abode. So that's not karma. The last part, that thing is not karma. Okay, Adi Bhuta. Physical nature is known to be endlessly mutable. The universe, so that's Adi Bhuta, physical nature. The universe is the cosmic form of Supreme Lord. The universe is the cosmic form of the Supreme Lord, and I am that Lord represented as Super Soul dwelling in the heart of every living, every embodied being. Okay, so any questions so far? So far, Arjun has asked 8 questions and Krishna has answered 7 out of 8. The only question which is remaining is, how do you remember at the time of death? So if I go back to the table here, so Krishna has answered what is spirit, what is adhyatma or nature of the self, what is karma, what is adibhut, which is material nature, which Krishna defines as him is constantly mutable or changing. What is Adidev, which is universal form of Krishna? What is Adi Yagna, which is Paramatma feature of Krishna? Where does Adi Yagna reside? In the heart of all. And then from verse number 5, we will start learning how to remember Krishna at the time of death, which is basically the zest of the chapter. Krishna says, Antakale cha mam eva smaran mukta kalevaram ya prayati samadbhavam yati na asti atra sanshayah. So, Antakale cha mam eva, and whoever at the time of death quits his body, remembering me alone, at once attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt. So, Antakale cha mam eva. Eva, Prabhupada explains in the purport, is the most important word. Only means only. Anta means end, Kale means time. So, at the end time, chamam, only me remembers mukta. Smaran means memory or remembering. Mukta kalevaram attains to my nature. Yaha prayati samadbhavam na asti atra sanshayah. Sanshaya means doubt, and na asti means no doubt, and atra means for sure no doubt. So there is no doubt about it that if somebody remembers Krishna only, not like Krishna and my son, Krishna and my job, Krishna and my riches, no, only Krishna, then he attains Krishna's nature at once. Of this, there is no doubt. And we know the glorious passing of Bhishma Dev from Srimad Bhagavatam, that how he was meditating on Narayan feature of Krishna and nothing else. And then he attained that nature. This is a reference from Mahabharata when Yudhishthira was asked questions by Yaksha or Yamaraj, because he wanted to bring back his 4 brothers who had left their body by drinking water from the poisonous lake. So he requested Yaksha to bring his brothers back. So Yamaraj or Yaksha said that you have to answer some questions. So one of the questions which Yaksha asked Yudhishthira Maharaj was, what is the most amazing thing, or what is the most wonderful thing that you see in this world? Most wonderful. So Yudhishthira Maharaj answered this answer. This is his answer from Mahabharata. Ani ani bhutani gacchanti hayamalayam sheshastavaram icchanti kim ascharya athaparam. Hundreds and thousands of living entities meet death at every moment. But a foolish living being nonetheless thinks himself deathless and does not prepare for death. This is the most wonderful thing in this world. So we see everyone dying, but we think that it's for them and not for me. The recent statistics show, and as of 2023, that 79% of the people across the globe don't make a will. They die without a will. 79% of the people across the globe. So why? Because they think it's not going to happen to me. So imagine, like, we are all, nobody's freed. Krishna goes on emphasizing the importance of remembering him at the time of death. Yam yam vapi smaram bhavam tyajate ante kalevaram tam tam eveti konteya sada tad bhava bhavita. So yam yam vapi smaran bhavam means whatever one is remembering, whatever is remembering. Tyajate ante kalevaram, remembering when the person is leaving the body. Ante kalevaram, that time. Tam tam eveti konteya. O son of Kunti, that will happen. What will happen? Sada tad bhava bhavita. That state or that nature he will attain without any doubt or without any fail. So whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, that state he will attain without fail. This is coming from Krishna. It's not coming from me. This is like, okay, this is Bharat Maharaj pastime. Of course, this is a pastime where Krishna uses his pure devotees as an example to illustrate the importance of his instructions in Bhagavad Gita. Like one time we had a discussion, what is the difference between Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam? So there were many things, but one of the most thing that I remember or striking to me was that Bhagavad Gita is a book of instructions. Krishna gives instructions after instructions, and Srimad Bhagavatam is a live wire or a live platform of how to live those instructions. Krishna says this, that whatever state one leaves or one remembers at the time of death, that state he will attain without fail. And then the example of it is given in 5th canto Srimad Bhagavatam during the pastime of Bharat Maharaj, where he's attached. He's in a Bhava Bhakti stage, but he gets attached to one deer, and then he has to become a deer, and then he has to take the body of a Jada Bharat, and then he has to go to Krishna. So how important it is. Then he says, okay, then now I have told you that if one remembers me at the time of death, then they come to me. If one remembers something else other than me, then they go there. Of this, there's no doubt. Then he says, why don't you make a wise choice? This is a wise choice. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudhya cha mai arpita mano buddhir mam evashyasya sanchayaha. This is a very interesting verse. This verse can be discussed in many different scenarios in our lives. I'll read the translation and then we'll go over the verse. Therefore, Arjun, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. With your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without doubt. So, tasmat sarveshu kaleshu. So, the conversation is beginning, or the Krishna's talk is beginning with the tasmat. Tasmat means therefore, which means that it is a continuation from the previous dialogue, which means he's not done speaking yet about this particular aspect. Sarveshu kaleshu. Kaleshu means all the time, and sarveshu means all the time. Mam anusmara yuddha chaha. So he gives two instructions in the second line, which is very interesting. Remember, Krishna and Arjun are standing in the battlefield. Okay, and it's arranged. It's in the middle of a battlefield, and they have taken time out for each other to have this conversation. And Krishna is telling Arjun in the middle of the battlefield, therefore, always mam anusmara, think of me, yuddhecha, and fight. Okay, so first instruction is think of me, and then says and fight at the same time. So if we say that, oh my God, I have so much absorption during the day, I have this work, that work, this chore, family, children, this, or even if we are directly doing the worship in the temple, okay, I have to cook, I have to, in Gita Nagari, go to milk the cows or mow the lawn or do this, that, so many things are there. But we are only getting absorbed in the service and not Krishna, then that's not what Krishna is saying. He's saying, this is how you come to me. Mam anusmara yuddhacha. Think of me and then fight at the same time. So, see, you should always think, you should. So, word should is used. If you read about the rules of communication, then word should is a very strong word, which means that it is non-negotiable. If it was negotiable, then Prabhupada would have written, then you can consider to think of me and in the form of Krishna and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. But Prabhupada is translating this word as should. It's non-negotiable. Okay, this is like lock it, zip it, and put it in your pocket. You have to do it. And then what do? Not only think of me, but actually dedicate your activities to me with your mind and intelligence, not with sentimentalism. Use your intelligence, fix it on me, and then you will attain me without doubt. So he's not asking a small thing, he's asking a lot here. But when he's saying it, then he will give empowerment as well if we actually try to do it. Okay, so this is one way of understanding this verse. And of course, this is Prahlad Maharaj teaching his school friends the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And then he understands, this is a very difficult instruction. It sounds difficult, right? That think of Krishna, then carry out the duties, and also think of Krishna in all activities, and also think of Krishna not with sentimentalism or emotion, but actually at the level of mind and intelligence. Then Krishna knows that this is hard. Then he gives this leeway. Abhyasa yukte na chetasa naanyagaamina paramam purusham divyam yaati partha anuchintayan. He who meditates on Supreme Personality of Godhead, his mind constantly engaged in remembering me, undeviated from the path. He, O Parth Arjun, is sure to reach me. Okay, so Abhyasa Yoga Yuktena. So Abhyasa means that by practice. So basically he's saying practice. Do this practice. Prabhupada puts in Bhagavad Gita also at 2-3 places that practice makes a man perfect, and which we know is in English language as well. Practice makes a man perfect. So practice, and if you do this, constantly engage in remembering me, undeviated from the path, he who, O Parth, is sure to reach me. And this is the pastime, which is very encouraging, or this is an instruction in Bhagavad Gita again. And this is a pastime from Srimad Bhagavatam where we understand that how true this is. That if we remember Krishna in the time of death, even though we can say a Jamil forgot Krishna in the middle of his life, somehow at the end of his life, he got it back. You see, we know in 6th canto, a Jamil's pastime where he's born in a very pious family. He's cultivating all the Brahminical qualities under the able guidance of his father, goes to the forest to collect flowers for deity worship, coming back, sees the prostitute and a drunken man, and gets allured. And then what does he do? He actually falls down from his position of Brahminical qualities, gets the prostitute in, and throws everyone else out, and starts living with her an abominable lifestyle. At the age of 88 years, he has a 2-year-old son, which somehow or other he names as Narayan. And when he's resting one afternoon, it's his time to leave the body. And understandably and fair enough, the Yamadutas come to get his body, subtle body and soul out of his gross body. But he's so attached to his younger son Narayan, so he calls Narayan. The Narayan, 3 syllables. But he calls it in Namabhas without offenses. And immediately Vishnudutas come, and then there's an argument between Vishnudutas and Yamadutas as to who's going to be the right claim. And then he gets a second chance. He gets put back in the gross body, and then he gets a second chance where he goes to Haridwar, purifies himself, and then when he finally leaves the body, then Vishnudutas come and take him back. So Krishna is showing that he actually is keeping his word. Okay, and then Krishna gives, so far what we have studied, that Arjuna has asked 8 questions. Krishna has answered 7 out of 8 questions in verse 3-4. Then Krishna is spending his time to answer the last question, which is how to remember Krishna at the time of death. And he's emphasizing the importance of remembering Krishna at the time of death, and also giving another view that if you don't remember me, then you'll go to whatever you're remembering. And then he says, remember me in the form of Krishna. But just in case you don't know the form of Krishna, then Krishna is describing his 10 qualities in this verse himself. Just to help us, Krishna, who Krishna? This is who is. Kavim Puranam Anushashitaram Anur Aniyam Anusmaredyaha Sarvasya Dhataram Achintya Rupam Aditya Varnam Tamasa Parastat. One should meditate upon the Supreme Person as the one who knows everything, as he who is the oldest, who is the controller, who's smaller than the smallest, who is the maintainer of everything, who is beyond all material conception, who is inconceivable, who is always a person, he is luminous like the sun, and being transcendental is beyond this material nature. Okay, let's garland Krishna. So Kavim, knower of everything, past, present, and future. Puranam, his oldest, everyone is born out of him. Anushashitaram, controller of everything. Anayor Aniyam Sham, smaller than the smallest. Dhataram, the maintainer. Beyond all conception, all planets are floating by his energy. Rupam, always a person. Achintya, inconceivable. You cannot conceive Krishna. In Chaitanya Chaitamrita, Krishna is described as Turya. Right? Turya is a word called Turya that Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami Prabhupada uses, which basically means fourth dimension. Okay, so our activities are going on in 3 dimensions: x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis. But Krishna is in the 4th dimension. Krishna, how do we explain that? There are 3 modes of material nature, right? Goodness, passion, ignorance. Krishna is in the 4th dimension. That's achintya. That's what I'm saying. Inconceivable. We cannot conceive. Then there is a 3 planetary system: upper, middle, lower. Krishna is 4th dimension. Beyond that, then there is Brahma, there is Vishnu, there is Mahesh. Krishna is in the 4th dimension. Beyond that, like that, we can see that Krishna is inconceivable. We cannot conceive him with our material existence. Aditya Varnam, luminous like the sun. Tasmaha Parastat, transcendental, beyond. Tamasaha Parastat, I'm sorry, beyond this material nature. Tamas is one, there are 5 kinds of ignorance, right? That Brahma explains in 2nd canto Srimad Bhagavatam. So Parastat means beyond that. It's beyond that material nature. So these are the different ways that Krishna is saying, remember me. Just in case you don't know how to remember me, I'm telling you, remember me this way, that way, in the form of Krishna, then this is how you remember Krishna. And Krishna is object of worship by very exalted personalities like Brahma, right? Like Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is sitting on meditation. What is he meditating on? He's meditating on Krishna. Okay. And then he describes the glories of this is the second last part of the chapter, where he describes the glories of spiritual world. So basically he's inviting us, right? Come to my house. Let's say we invite people to come to our house, and then we say, there's comfort in my house. You don't have to work. You don't have to cook. You can just, chill and chant Hare Krishna and catch up on your reading and rest. So like that, Krishna is saying, come to me, because these are the qualities of my abode. Same tendency that we're getting from him. Mamupetya punarjanma dukhalayam ashashvatam napnuvanti mahatmanaha samsiddhim paramam gataha. After attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world, which is full of miseries, because they have attained the highest perfection. So, Mam Upetya Punarjanma. Upetya, coming to me. Mam means me. Punarjanma. Dukhalayam Ashashvatam. So, Alayam literally means dwelling. It literally means dwelling. So, there are some words like Vidyalayam. So Vidya means education. So a dwelling where Vidya is given, basically a school or Gurukul, is Vidyalayam. Or give me some examples of Alayam, like Bhojanalayam. So Bhojanalayam is like, Alayam is a dwelling and Bhojan is like a place where food is served. Okay, it's like a prasadam hall, Bhojanalayam. So Krishna is saying this place, Devalayam, and thank you, Mataji. Devalayam is like Deva means temple. Devalayam means a dwelling where God is worshipped, or temple, basically. Devalayam means temple. So like that, Dukhalayam, he's saying this material world is a dwelling where there is dukkha, where there is misery, the place where misery resides. Just in case you think that, okay, you can make it more comfortable because, I can earn money and I can make my house very comfortable. I can make my lifestyle very comfortable. I can have a lot of like good position in the society. Krishna says, okay, do all that, but guess what? Ashashvatam. Ashashvatam means Shashvatam means permanent. Ashashvatam means impermanent, means temporary. This is all temporary. Your house by the sea, your color TV and MP3 is not going to stay for forever. So it is temporary and it is full of misery. You see, he's the brain behind this material existence. So if we really have to understand the place that we are living in, it's better to understand from its origin, not from the secondary creators or primary or tertiary and so on and so forth. So if we are going to look for happiness in this material world, we will always be defeated because Krishna is saying this is Dukhalema Shashvatam. Napnuvanti Mahatmana Samsiddhim Paramagatam. So that soul will never come back here because why? Because they have attained the highest perfections. Basically, this is an invitation. Now, just in case, because you were saying, Arjun, in the first chapter that there is no benefit, there is no enjoyment. And then I told you in second chapter that there is enjoyment. If you win the war, then you rule the earth. If you lose the war and you die, you will at least attain the heavenly planets. But guess what? From the highest planet in the world, in the material world, down to the lowest, all are places of misery, wherein repeated birth and death take place. But one who attains to my abode, O son of Kunti, never takes birth again. Says, okay, go to the upper planetary system, but there's always get news in Bhagavatam all the time that there's always war going on, right? And there's always insecure, and there's always dread between asuras and devas. And earth, we can see, we are here. We can say, okay, I'm okay, but for how long? For how long? Anything can happen at any time. And then hell, it is easier to imagine. There is a very nice, Prabhupada tells a very nice story, how he say that the hell is right here in on earth. So Prabhupada tells this story that once there was a priest in London, and he went to preach the glories of Jesus Christ to the coal miners. Under the coal miners are always working in the dungeon, right, and under the earth. So he went to preach the glories of Jesus Christ, and Prabhupada says that he said, if you don't worship Jesus Christ, then then you will go to hell. So one of the workers asked, what is hell? So the priest said, hell is very dark. It's very dark, very moist. Now remember, these are coal miners. They never see the sun. It's dark, moist, no problem. Okay, you don't see the sunlight. That's also no problem. Then Prabhupada said the priest was very smart. Then he said, you will not get any newspaper there. And then they were like, oh, that's hell. You go and don't know newspaper. So basically, Prabhupada says that we can understand, we understand according to our own understanding what is hell, which is smart preaching. And then he says that even if you live for so long, you still be very small. So by human calculation, 1,000 ages taken together is the duration of Brahma's one day. And such is the duration of his night. 1,000 ages taken together. When Brahma's day is manifest, this multitude of living entities come into being, and at the arrival of Brahma's night, they are all annihilated. We know that, right? Brahma's one day and night, this happens. Again and again, the day comes and this host of beings is active, and again the night falls or parts and they are helplessly dissolved. But then what is happening in Krishna's abode? This is the activity of dissolution and manifestation is happening in material world. But Krishna is giving us a comparison now. So he says this is what is happening where I am inviting you. Paras tasmatu bhava anyo vyakto vyaktat sanatanaha yaha sa sarveshu bhuteshu nashteshu na vinashyati. Yet there is another nature which is eternal and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. It is supreme and is never annihilated. When all in this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is. Paras tasmat tu bhav anyo. Vyakto avyaktat sanatanaha. So there is another nature which is beyond this vyakta and avyakta. Vyakta means manifested, avyakta means annihilated, sanatana means beyond that. Yahasa sarveshu bhuteshu, when everything is annihilated here, na astayo, na vinashyati. 2 times na is used. Nothing happens. That part remains, nothing is destroyed there, and everything remains as it is. So go there, Now tell me, how many of us are like looking forward to move from one place to another place to another place? Not like Guru Maharaj, like a sannyasi, but like with the family, and you have to pack up and change school for your children or change job every month. Or are we looking for some stability? What are we really looking for? Do we like to be grounded or keep moving? Keep moving. So
Stability.
grounded, right? So, but then this is where the real foundation is, that if we go there, then we are grounded. We don't have to keep moving up and down, round and round. So this, I'm sure everyone knows this. Let me see if I can. This is the material nature, right? This is one, the Garbhodakshay Vishnu, and then from his navel, the lotus stem is coming out, and on the top of the lotus flower, Brahma is sitting. Let me see if I can. And then there are 14 planetary systems. We are here, Bhur, Earth, and then there are 6 above and 7 below. So we are in the middle somewhere. But it's still in the realm of material nature. And then there are so many coverings. I think there are like 7 coverings which cover this particular material manifestation. And then Krishna is beyond that, but there is a connection which can actually take us to that particular abode, right? This material world. And that string, if you see the string, that string is made up of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So invisible string. So if we catch this string, we don't even have to go through the jumping of up and down, round and round, or worry about how we're going to go across these thick layers. What the astronomers are doing is that they are just jumping inside this realm, not even complete here. And then there's so much beyond that we are completely unaware of. I'm so sorry. I don't know what I did. Okay. So this is the abode of Krishna, where every step is a dance, and every step is a dance, and every word is a song. And there's so many relishable exchanges going on. It is an open invitation. I sometimes feel, I don't know why, but I feel like every time you read Bhagavad Gita, it's like a love letter. It's like a love letter from Krishna to us. What is the content or a template of a love letter? Now, a lover is writing to its lover that I am like this. I appreciate this quality in you. And you can appreciate this quality in me. And if we can be together, then our life can be so appreciable. Right? So it's like Krishna is appreciating that actually you're mine. You belong to me. You're just here for now, but you belong to me. You're part and parcel of me, your soul. And he describes so many qualities of the soul. And then he describes his own qualities. I am like this, start loving me because you're basically mine. And then let's go here. So this is like a original love letter. This is Kulashekar, I'm one of the Alvars from Shri Sampradaya who actually, Sindhuri Mataji, you want to read the verse? Go ahead, please read the verse. She wants to read the verse. Unmute yourself. So he's describing Prabhupada's favorite verse. I think we all know this verse. Go ahead, Mataji. She sent me a message that she wants to read the verse. Go ahead, Mataji. Sindhuri Rajesh.
Krishna Tvadiya-pada-pankaj-panjarantam Adyaiva me visatu manasarajahamsaha Prana-prayana-samayeka-bhavata-pittaihi Kantavarodhana-vidau smaranam kutaste.
Thank you, Mataji. Very nice. So the Prabhupada translates, "O Krishna, please allow my mind to immediately yield to your lotus flower-like feet, just as a flamingo enters into the labyrinth of the lotus flower stem. When at the moment of my last breath, my throat becomes constricted by the action of your bodily humors, air, bile, and phlegm, how will I be able to remember you?" Okay, so this is like an expression of love for a devotee, of a devotee to the Supreme Personality of Godhead at the topmost level. So this is one of the last verses that now Krishna is emphasizing the importance of remembering him, coming to him, and is giving importance of in the qualities of his abode. Now, Arjun can think that I'm a Kshatriya. What about, other sacrifices? What about other charities, acts of charity? What about other good moral things? So Krishna is in the heart, right? He understands this, and then he says this for us. Vedeshu yagneshu tapasu chaiva daneshu yat punya phalam pradishtam atyeti tat sarvamidam viditva yogi param sthanam upaita chadyam. A person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the results derived from studying the Vedas, performing austere sacrifices, giving charity, or pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities. At the end, he reaches the supreme abode. So don't think, Arjun, or of us, don't think that if I'm only taking devotional service, I will be bereft from the results of studying the Vedas, performing austere sacrifices, giving charity, pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities. No. On the other hand, on contrary to this belief that I'll be bereft, actually, I'll get everything and I'll also get the supreme abode. I think it's a good deal breaker. I think it's a good deal to go back to Krishna because there's a lot to achieve in association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is the summary of the chapter where Krishna is answering Arjun's. The chapter name is Attaining the Supreme, right? So Arjun is asking 8 questions to Krishna, and Krishna answers 7 out of 8 in verse 3 and 4. Then he gives a lot of importance on the last question, that how to remember Krishna at the time of death. Then Krishna says, some people want to remember me through meditation. Some people remember me through pure devotional service. Then he compares and gives the importance of coming to his abode, compares material world and spiritual world. And then he gives his 2 cents that, okay, actually, I prefer that I am remembered by pure devotional service and you attain to my supreme abode. Okay, we finished the overview here, but I'm going to show you a video. And this is a very powerful video. Every time I watch it, I get like, oh my Krishna. So enjoy.
We have to stop the live stream.
No.
Then the body is finished and the soul again enters another body. This is called as by wisdom. What is the next body you are going to get? You must have information.
got that in part. That is why. Okay, don't combine.
Where are you right now?
We're dreaming?
You're actually in the middle of the workshop right now, sleeping. This is your first lesson in training.
I find this video very powerful. Were you able to see it?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji.
Yes,
Okay,
very graphic portrayal.
I know, right? This is all Prabhupada's translations from for third canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, 31st chapter, the movement of the living entity. So some fun facts about chapter 8 is like there are so many purports which end in Hare Krishna Mahamantra. I made a list. It's for verse number 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, 14, and 19. So when you read the chapter, just maybe pay attention. And Prabhupada is ending the purport or putting Hare Krishna Mahamantra in these verses 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, 14, and 19. And then Krishna has used this word Mam Atra Asanshayaha, without any doubt. So Krishna is assuring a person that that whoever is going to remember Krishna at the time of death will come to him. This is repeated a lot. So I made a list of the verses. Just a fun fact, okay? It's fun fact if you're reading. Verse number 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 16. I'm sorry, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 13, 16, and 21. So many verses is emphasizing that. Think of me and you'll come to me. Okay, I think we can conclude here. If there's any question, reflection, realization, or correction, I'm happy to get it. I don't know if Srimati is still here. She had a polling question. Oh, let me see if I can launch. Okay, I'm going to launch this polling. Vishwa Prabhu, I come to you, Prabhu. Please answer the question and then we can take the reflection in it. The question is in verses 8, 19 and 20, Krishna describes difference between the material world and spiritual world. What is the difference between the two? Can you see the poll? Shridevi Mataji, can you?
Yes, we can see it. Yeah.
Krishna is all spiritual
Yeah,
and there is
yeah.
no difference between material world and spiritual world. Material world is full of variety, whereas spiritual world has no variety. Material world is never annihilated. Spiritual world is manifested and annihilated. Material world is manifested and unmanifested depending on Brahma's day or night. Spiritual world is eternal and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. And okay, which is the right answer? Mataji, I cannot send it again without finishing it for the whole class. So far, 12 out of 24 devotees have answered. Okay. Okay, I'll give like 30 more seconds. 17 out of 24 devotees have answered. All right, so 10 more seconds. Okay, 3 more seconds. Hare Krishna. All right, so I'll end the poll and then I will share the results. So the correct answer is obviously like material world is manifested and unmanifested depending on Brahma's day or night. Spiritual world is eternal and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. One devotee answered material world is never annihilated, spiritual world is manifested and annihilated. So that's not the correct answer. Okay. Thank you. I will launch one more question. Krishna Chaitanya.
When you stop this sharing, then you'll get the second question. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. What does Adi Bhuta mean and what is its nature? It means demigod and their nature is to control different operations of material world. It means universal form of the Lord and it represents the entire material creation. It means physical nature and it is constantly changing. It means super soul and it always accompanies the individual soul. What does Adi Bhuta mean? Difficult question if you haven't read the chapter. Hey, Hare Krishna, please participate. So a lot of mixed answers I'm getting. So far, 15 out of 24 devotees have participated. 16. Okay, 30 more seconds. Hare Krishna. Ten more seconds. All right, so 5 more seconds. Hare Krishna. Only 18 out of 24 devotees have participated in this. Okay, I'll end it. And I'll share the results. Adibhuta means physical nature and it is constantly changing. Adi Deva is the universal form of Krishna. And Adi Yagna is the super soul and it accompanies the individual soul. Okay, so Adibhuta is physical nature and it is constantly changing. Thank you. Okay, we can take Rishabha Prabhu. You had your hand up. I don't know if you're still here.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna. Krishna.
dear devotees, dear Vaishnavas, please let my humble obeisance. Yeah, we are already on the 8th chapter. Amazing points, especially about remembering Krishna. So I have one question regarding it, if possible. And also a great video, because usually they say like, okay, old age, death, and disease, yeah, that's a problem. But birth, why is that a problem? You just get a new body, and then maybe it's a problem because you experience the three other things. But no, when you just understand that this child, like, what is it, like almost intolerable, or like if you would read to someone, there is a torment house in some part of the world, and they are doing this, you'll be like, oh, that's terrible. Then you say, no, this is the birth of a child. Crazy. My question about the thinking of Krishna, you said, in a sense, when we are doing some activities, even if it is in the realm of devotional service, like temple service or preaching service, if you are not thinking of Krishna while doing that, that it doesn't that is not devotional service, or how did you describe it?
No, that's not very pleasing to Krishna. It is devotional service because it is done on a dham. So dham has its potency. Where we are standing is my understanding, but that's not, where is my consciousness? Like, I can nurture my consciousness more if I put more mind and intelligence in it. But I'm putting more focus on, for example, I'm not bereft of this. I'm also doing it. Like, let's say I'm washing vessels in the kitchen. I'm thinking, when will these washed vessels get over? So when will I clean the kitchen? But not like, okay, this is Krishna's kitchen and I'm just doing the service and I'm washing and it is also cleansing my heart. Like this, I can think like this because I know about this. But I'm choosing not to think like this because I want to be like, get done, get going. So that's the difference I understand in practical application.
Is
It
that
happens all the
in
time in Gita Nagari. Go ahead, Prabhu.
yeah. So is that connected to this aspect that we have to learn how to act and depend on Krishna at the same time?
Yeah, he's only saying, no, remember me and fight at the same time.
Jeste?
Na koji način ste tu naplaćuje?
I'll show you.
Imate ovoga, tamo vam je malo niže, vam je uređaj, automat. Eto.
Okay.
Može, hvala. Sorry, I'm in the car. So what you said, sorry?
I said he's saying that you should always think of me in the form of Krishna and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. So, if of all the people across the whole world, Arjun has an excuse or should have an excuse not to think of Krishna because he's going to fight. He has to focus. No little move here and there, he can be dead or he can be injured. But no, think of me and fight at the same time, emphasizing.
But Krishna is in front of him, though.
Yeah, we can still, one devotee does this, we can still forget Krishna even if he's in front of us. I'll give you an example. We decorate our house with Krishna's pastimes, right? We put pictures of Krishna and everything, and then we forget to look at the walls. You don't want to say, okay, I have to lock the door, I have to go there, I have to. So that's why Prabhupada named the woman Krishna consciousness. So we have to be consciously conscious of Krishna. So.
Thank you very much, because I'm trying to, I ask this question because I'm trying to go deeper into this aspect. It's a habit. It really is a habit, like being in the deeply in the mode of ignorance and passion, being like, oh, why I have to do this service, or oh, let's do it done, or I like this service, that's why I'm doing this service. But it's all like about me. There's no Krishna in that. It's how my mind likes it, doesn't like how the modes interact with the service, in the sense, and having this habit of thinking of Krishna constantly and depending on him. And it's really interesting, one thing that happens, especially in preaching, because it's not anymore about you. I'm gonna meet now with some aspiring people, one-on-one, and with your mercy devotees, I'm praying, please Krishna, let me think of you and let me always depend on you, what you want from this discussion to happen. Not like, let me show off my knowledge, let me, tell you what I want to tell you. It's not about me. It's about what Krishna wants from that person, what Krishna wants to happen to that person, and I guess that only the moment I'm actually constantly thinking and praying to Krishna, like a shy woman, in front of some unknown man, and he's like, frightened what will happen. The same way, depend on Krishna, that Krishna will give me enough intelligence how to approach this person so he can be inspired by Krishna consciousness. Do you have any similar experience?
Are you asking all of us?
You, I mean, you're the preacher, you're a preacher.
Yes. I have very funny experiences. Yes, at the so recently we had a premature delivery in the emergency room, and the kid was not going to survive. We knew that. But still we have to try, right? And then the nurse who was helping me, her hands were shaking. She's passing me the endotracheal tube because I have to intubate the child, and her hands are shaking, and she's not able to hold. I said, "You just have to think of Krishna and do the work." So I'm like shouting.
Cool.
So I was like, "Oh my God, did I say that? Did I just say that?" So yeah,
Nice preaching.
okay.
Great preaching. Thank
That
you.
was like a
any,
totally unexpected encounter I had. Yes.
maybe
And
if
you actually,
some other devotees. Yeah, sorry.
and she actually then steadied herself and did the work.
She did, yeah, she did. She tried, but she was still like shaking. And I'm like, you can't be. You just have to do the work and think of Krishna. I don't have time for your shakiness. Just think of Krishna. So nice.
And you said this in an
Crazy.
American hospital, right?
Yes, in the middle of a crisis with 20 people over my head. Yes. I'm like, oh my God, Prem
Good
Kishore,
for
you
you
didn't
and good
say
for
that.
them.
And there was another one. We were going to do a procedure, and I have American students, the postgraduates, and I was going to do a difficult procedure. So it was like, okay, and then my resident, my student, he asked me, "Do you need anything else? We had done timeout, we have done everything. Do you need anything else?" I couldn't. I don't know what was going on. I said, "Just pray to Krishna." So now they make fun of me. Then you ask her if you need anything else. This is the last thing she says. Just pray to Krishna. So yes, it's very very funny. Yes.
It should be a part of curriculum.
I think I surprised myself, honestly. I wasn't, like you're going to consciously preach, right, Prabhu? It was unconscious. So
I think it's the best. That is the best one. Thank you very much.
I'm so proud of you for saying that, Prem Kishori. That is wonderful. To say Krishna in an American hospital is absolutely fabulous. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your encouraging words, Sridevi Mataji. Kodavati Balaji Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru and all the assembled devotees. Mataji, I have a question. Krishna says that, whatever we think at the end state, we will be getting that kind of body in the next life, or going to, his dham, in whatever mood we are thinking in the last time. And there will be some situations where, people cannot think, or, what about those situations, Mataji? Maybe their brain is not functioning. There will be some situations like that, right?
For Krishna? For Krishna?
Yeah, for any people, right? For example, somebody has met with an accident, they have a brain damage, but still, their body is alive, right? They cannot think, right?
Well, Shri Mataji, you want to answer this? I can answer. Let me pull up the reference too. Do you want to?
No, go ahead. I'd like to hear you.
So, Prabhu, but please pitch in, okay, Shri Mataji, I request you. Prabhu, Krishna consciousness is described by two simple words in Srimad Bhagavatam. And the two words are ahetuki apratihata, which means that Krishna consciousness is not dependent on anything and it cannot be checked by anything. So if we are going to make consciousness or Krishna consciousness dependent on anything or being checked by anything, then it is not Krishna consciousness. It is something else. I understand where you're coming from, that one may not be a pure devotee. And if one is not a pure devotee, then how can we think of Krishna? That's different aspect. One aspect I want to make sure that when somebody is in a brain dead or coma stage, then their subtle body is still active. And thinking, feeling, and willing is an action of the mind, which is the subtle body. It's not a part of the brain, the physical brain, which Prabhupada gives us the evidence from the pastime of Daksha. Right? You know the pastime of Daksha, where in 4th canto Srimad Bhagavatam, where Lord Shiva was in Daksha and Lord Shiva are two sons of Brahma. And Brahma tells Daksha to marry Sati, which is Daksha's favorite daughter, to Lord Shiva. And then Daksha doesn't like Lord Shiva because he's envious because Lord Shiva is a very exalted devotee. Second, he thinks as a father that he doesn't even have a proper place, he doesn't even have proper clothing, and how will he take care of my favorite daughter? But because he's told by Brahma, he marries Sati off, but he still holds the enviousness and the grudge. So he insults Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva gets up and leaves, not because he feels insulted, but because he wants to stop Vaishnava Aparadh. Okay, so and then there is no talk between father-in-law and son-in-law for hundreds of years. And one day, Sati sees all these ladies from heavenly planets being dressed up and talking and going. So she asks, "Where are you going?" And then she says, they say that Daksha has organized another sacrificial ceremony and we're all going over there. So then now she wants to go to her dad's house. So she goes and tells Lord Shiva, "I want to go to my dad's house." And Lord Shiva is saying, don't go because we are not invited. We must not go where we are not invited. So she says, "I don't need an invitation to go to my father's house. I can go." So, "Okay, but I will not go, but please make sure that this may not work out well." So Lord Shiva is a good husband. So he sends his wife with all paraphernalia, arrangements, and people with her. And when she goes, she sees that Lord Shiva's platform is not done. He's one of the demigods. So we are supposed to offer platform or sacrifice to. So she feels very insulted because the husband is insulted. So what she does is she sits in the middle of the sacrificial arena and incites mantras and leaves her body. Now Lord Shiva sends his army, not because he's grieving for his wife, but because a Vaishnavi is insulted. And then his army general, Lord Shiva's army general, beheads Daksha, beheads him. Now Brahma comes. My God, now what? So Brahma comes and then pacifies Lord Shiva and tells him to please give head back to Daksha. So Prabhupada writes there, Lord Shiva tells Brahma, because Daksha has done a job of a goat, I'm going to give him a goat head. So he gets a goat head, Daksha gets a goat head, but when he comes back, he actually realizes his mistake and seeks forgiveness from Lord Shiva. Prabhupada writes in the purport, I distinctly remember, from this pastime we understand medical science thinks that brain is responsible for giving us intelligence and bodily function. But from this pastime we understand that it is actually the soul which resides in the heart, because despite of getting the head of a goat, Daksha still remembered what he did and he's saying all these prayers. So our understanding of what reality is and what reality is actually are different domains. So Krishna consciousness is not dependent on all these brain death, or even for God's sake death, okay, even for nothing, unless and until we don't nurture that faith in our existence when we are still fully conscious. Krishna proves this. In Isopnishad, last two prayers, the devotee is praying to Krishna, right? Krishna, I might not remember you at the time of death, but you please remember my offerings or my devotional service at the time. And Krishna says that my devotee never perishes. Right? Prabhupada uses the word perishes. Declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. Means never, not under any circumstances. once I raised this discussion in the assembly that why Prabhupada uses the word perishes, why Prabhupada is not using the word vanquishes, disappears, fall down, why perish? I mean, I can go on with that, but or if you want, I can go on, or if you don't want, then we can stop here. But understand that Krishna consciousness is not dependent on this. That is why I have to be very, very confident of my practice right now. And whatever may happen, yes, I will be in pain. Yes, I might forget, but Krishna will not forget me because he has promised it.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
And people in brain death are not dead. People in brain death can still have experiences from their subtle body and Krishna consciousness. And if you read 6th Canto Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a list. In second chance book, there is a list in one of the verses. If the person is falling from the height, person has faced fracture, person has had accidental death, somehow they chant the name of the Hari, they go back to Hari. Okay. I don't know. Shri Mataji, would you like to contribute?
Yeah, just one little thing. You explained everything beautifully. The hearing doesn't go. The person can still hear because hearing is very acute. And even people in so-called coma and, in a stuporous condition or unconscious or this or that, so many different things, their soul is hearing. So if you play the Maha Mantra, if you play Srila Prabhupada's jukebox playing, chanting the Maha Mantra or kirtans or bhajans or audio tape of Bhagavad Gita, the soul is hearing. That's very important to know. That apparently they may not have, not be able to respond or show a reaction, but they can hear. Just for you to remember.
Yeah, that's very nice.
Yes,
Thank
Mataji.
you.
Very well explained. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Shilpesh Shah Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Guru Maharaj. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Sorry, my video is not working for some reason. So
No problem.
Yes, these daily classes are just amazing. I'm learning so much about the Gita. It's a very hard text to just get into by yourself. So these daily classes have been amazing. So thank you so much. So far, I'm trying to understand the difference between spiritual life and material life, because most of what I think I do is to alleviate material suffering. That's been, I guess, how I come to Krishna consciousness. And, what my daily sadhana probably is focused on. But I'm realizing I don't really know much about spiritual life. I was wondering if you could just, say a few words about that.
Prabhu, if I'm understanding your question, you're asking a difference between material life and spiritual life because the push to come to Krishna consciousness initially is the suffering of the material life. Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Whereas now I'm beginning to realize our spiritual life is very different from this material world.
Okay, so the difference between material life and spiritual life. You see, most of us come to spiritual life because we want to make our material life comfortable.
Yes.
Let's be honest, like most of us are coming because, okay, I might get good concentration power so I can, concentrate better, or I can get more energy by doing some sort of yoga or meditation to be more productive with my work or home. So most of us, so the intention, the difference for me and other devotees can pitch in lies in what the intention is. What's the consciousness behind doing the activity that I'm doing? Am I reading Bhagavad Gita because I want to be known as a scholar of Bhagavad Gita? Or am I reading Bhagavad Gita because I really want to understand what's in it? What can I do? What is Krishna trying to say here? And who am I? So most of us come to Krishna consciousness from different platforms. Not everybody comes with distress. Most of the people may be coming because of the reason of distress, but Krishna has given 3 other kinds of people who come to Krishna in different reasons. And out of the 4 people who come to Krishna, he considers one as the superior most. He says everyone is a Mahatma because they're coming to me, but he considers one of them as the most superior. Do you know who? So out
Sure.
of
the
Mhm.
one who actually wants to know Krishna, or who Krishna is.
Yeah, so Gyani, right? So who wants to understand the knowledge, Gyani. So that's not the best, but that's like the best out of the 4 categories that they're coming to Krishna. So our progression in Krishna consciousness, yes, in the initial stages is directly proportional to the reason why we came. Right? That is why it says, be careful. If you're coming to me because you're in a distressful situation, then I'm going to solve your distressful situation, then you may forget me. Be careful if you're coming to me because you want some riches, I'll give you riches, but you may forget me. Be careful if you're coming to me because you're curious, just curious and not really, deeply introspective. I will pacify your curiosity, but you may again become curious about something else and not me. Knowledge on the other way is like has more ingrained, like it gets more ingrained in our consciousness, because knowledge, the next step of knowledge is that we change, right? People who are never been to school, never been to university, or never like have lived like have had like even the material education, their lifestyle we can see in front of us is so different from the people who are educated, right? Their lifestyle is different, because the knowledge means fundamentally it brings about change. So that's why probably he makes Gyanis as the superior most out of the 4. They're not the superior most in absolute sense, but out of the 4, so material life. If I'm coming to Krishna consciousness because I want to make my material life comfortable, no problem, because there is no problem in going to Krishna either way. Keep chanting Hare Krishna, keep associating with devotees, and then that material life, which is comfortable right now, will also become uncomfortable for us later on. You get my point? Like Dhruva Maharaj, he went to Krishna because he wanted to make his material life comfortable, like he was in distress. Where he wanted comfort of having a great kingdom greater than his great grandfather, which is Brahma. He got it, was like, I actually don't want it anymore. So no problem, go there, and then eventually just stay there, just keep chanting Hare Krishna, keep associating with devotees, because we have a good evidence-based spiritual practice from the Shastras that will also become uncomfortable at certain stage in our life. Now look at Sridevi Mataji. Okay, I'm sorry, Mataji, I'm giving you an example. Like she's so accomplished, she's educated, good life in United States. What is she doing? Looking to settle down in Mayapur. It's not easy to go on living in Mayapur. If you actually go and live there for forever, it's not easy. Especially after having been lived in United States for like decades and decades. Is it easy? Sridevi Mataji, is it easy? Can you unmute yourself and share your wishes now?
Oh my God. I don't think that I would wish this on anyone. It's very, very, very difficult.
So it's not
And
easy.
it's not easy.
But would you come back to the comforts of United States?
No.
You see, Shilpesh
No.
Prabhu. And then Janki Nath Prabhu. So you see, I read the book, I watched his last video. So having a disease in the body, you think it's easy? It's not
No.
easy. But then he's saying, I wouldn't rather not change anything. See, that's like huge. So we may be going to Krishna. Krishna, please relieve me from this problem, from this disease, from this situation. Give me a house by the sea, a color TV. But when we get it and you keep chanting Hare Krishna, it becomes uncomfortable. I don't know if I made sense or what did I say? Did it make sense a little bit?
Yeah, it's helpful. It's given me some good insights into my own challenges and where things are going. Thank you.
So I'll tell you a secret. So I'm working with Chitti Shakti Mataji on one project, and I was reading what she's writing. And she was writing about guilt, and she starts her writing by saying that she actually searched the entire Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, and there is not the use of the word guilt anywhere. Which was like, wow. She said the closest she came to the word guilt is when Kans apologizes to Vasudev for killing his children unnecessarily. He talks like a very good man, right? One time in 10th and Krishna book, 10th canto, That's the closest, but Krishna is not giving the guilt. So actually, should not be any guilt in going to Krishna. Okay, I'm going to Krishna because I need material comfort. So what? He's not giving me guilt. Go for it. Because ultimately that material comfort will become so uncomfortable that we actually look for something higher automatically. So guilt should never be a driving factor, is my take home point. Okay, be authentic. I don't know. I don't know if he's here or maybe your connection has a problem. Shilpesh
No,
Prabhu.
I'm here.
Oh.
Sorry, I was just reflecting on what you just said.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Sindhuri Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandvat pranams to all devotees. Dandvat pranams to you, Mataji. Thank you for the wonderful class. It was so enlightening, Mataji. I want to share two reflections. The first one is the example of my dad. They lived in Vishakhapatnam, India. So at the few days before they went to Tirumala, they had a wonderful darshan of Lord Balaji. And no one is there at that time in the temple near the sanctum sanctorum. Can you believe that? Because the temple always floated with lots of devotees. Due to the floods, everyone, all the devotees got stopped in the Tirupati itself. So they were the only ones. And my mom and my dad, they had the darshan for 5 minutes. Even my mom sang Sankirtan in front of the Lord. After 2 days, they came back down to Alimelu Mangapuram, Tiruchanur, what we say. So they had Kalyanam in the temple and they came back to the room. At that time, everything was totally fine. My dad had Tirumala Laddu Prasadam in the room, and suddenly he started some chills, and all his body was totally into sweat and kapha, everything is coming out. So they called our family doctor and he said, rush to the hospital immediately. So they went to the hospital. My dad paid money to the auto rickshaw as well. He walked inside, and while walking, my mom is saying, please say Govinda, 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 because my dad is a great devotee. He always thinks of Krishna. And the best example I can give is whenever he turns, generally in our home, my dad used to put Krishna picture at all the switchboards, so that whenever he turns off and turns on, he thinks about Krishna. That is the dedication my dad has, to think about Krishna all the time. Then Amma is saying, please say Govinda, Govinda, Govinda. And he slept on the bed, and the doctor came. He was listening to Amma saying Govinda, 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 and he left this gross body. So what I'm trying to explain is, at the time of death, if one is a pure devotee, Krishna plans everything. That is the message, and that is the realization we experienced in our life with my dad's example, because he is a great devotee. He always thinks of Krishna. He always chants the nama. He loves doing the Harinam, all the he always thinks of the nama, because nama, Krishna nama, and Krishna, both are non-different, right? So he did that act all the time. I just
Oh.
wanted to share, Mataji.
Mataji, thank you for sharing. First of all, hugs to you, and please accept my heartfelt condolences on passing. I know it must not be easy for you. Please let me know how I can be of support to you, and my sincere prayers to Prabhupada and Narasimha for auspicious journey of your father. But it was very inspirational. I feel very inspired. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, Mataji. And one more real incident I wanted to share. I listened in a lecture by His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu. Once there was a sannyas, brahmachari devotee in ISKCON Vrindavan. So he requested his Guru Maharaj that I wanted to go to my home. I wanted to visit my parents. I wanted to be there with my parents for 10 days. Then his Guru Maharaj said, no, this is not the right time. I will let you go some other time. So he said, okay. And again, after few months, Prabhuji asked again. And even at that time, Guru Maharaj said no, his Guru Maharaj. And after few years, his Guru Maharaj called this Prabhu, and he said, you go visit your parents, do seva, and come back. Then he said, while he was going in the train, he was thinking that, okay, why my Guru Maharaj? I asked him couple of times so many years ago, but he is saying this time, okay, let me go. And he started traveling, and he did seva to his parents. And he, when he was coming back in the train, he passed away. He left his gross body. He went to the abode. Then everyone was wondering why Guru Maharaj told him to go at this time, because he was in the middle, right? He was not with his parents, not in Vrindavan. So someone asked Guru Maharaj, and Guru Maharaj said, I know because his consciousness is to do seva for his parents. Now I made it in that way that his consciousness is in that way that he was thinking about reaching Vrindavan. Am I clear, Mataji?
Yes. Very nice.
So Guru Maharaj wanted to have his consciousness pure, that he always, at the time of his last minutes, he wanted to think about the Vrindavan. Yes, I wanted to go to Vrindavan. I have done my seva to my parents. That wish got fulfilled, and I'm coming back to Vrindavan forever. So that was the explanation of Guru Maharaj. This one I wanted to share, Mataji. These are the real things happen.
Thank you, Mataji. Very nice, inspirational. Thank you. Deepti Mataji, you had your hand up. Would you like to unmute?
Yes, Mataji, but I can ask tomorrow as well, Mataji, if the time is a problem. It's already 7:37 here. Is it okay? I can ask?
Yeah, I think we can ask, yeah, then we'll close it.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Please
Krishna.
accept my humble obeisance. Mataji, my question is related to today we talked about the material desires, right? So, I mean, personally, like more than material desires, like we have desires for our family members and their well-being and their accomplishments. So does it also consider like a material desire, Mataji? I mean, I'm not at this time, I'm not looking for I need a house or car or jewelry or something like that. But I always wish for like, kids to do good in their life. So does it consider like a material desire?
When you say kids to do good in their life, can you elaborate more? What good mean to you? Like they should get good education, good.
Yeah, they should get a good
Naukri,
education.
chaukri.
Whatever they are doing, they have to excel. That attachment, that causes sometimes more stress, Mataji. Sometimes I feel that I'm not giving enough time for them, or like, always thinking of them, like so much attachment to the kids, family. And sometimes I feel more towards my mom, who is in India. She's all alone. So it is basically, my question is more of family attachments, right? And we cannot fulfill everything. So that causes like a sadness. And we always ask for Krishna, like, what can we do? Or pray for them. So does it consider like as well a material desire?
Shri Mataji, you want to address it from the psychological aspect?
No, I think you can go ahead, and if there's something I can address it, no problem.
Okay, I'll try, but I think you're the best person to address this. I honestly do, but I'll try. Dipti Mataji, so you see, we have the primary emotion, and for what I'm hearing, the primary emotion here is like attachment to the family. And then now Krishna consciousness is becoming like a guilt again. So then there's a secondary emotion immediately following the primary emotion, that, oh my God, I cannot be attached. Oh my God, what am I doing? Oh my God, like, am I right that, oh, how can I be attached? And the primary emotion is attachment. The secondary emotion is like, no, this, you cannot do this. This is guilt. This is not good. This is Maya. You have to actually become attached to Krishna, not your child. Right, Mataji? Am I understanding you properly? Is that what is the conflict?
Yes, Mataji.
Or
So
you're
now
not-
we know about spiritual side, we are hearing more. So yeah, that is the exact question. Like, we are in the middle, right? If you don't know anything about this, then it is a different story. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for bringing it up, because most of us do juggle between all these things. So between the primary emotion, secondary emotion conversation, we actually don't make any move. But basically, the definition of an emotion, you know what is the definition of an emotion? Can you define? Yeah, Shri Mataji.
Energy in motion.
Yeah. So definition of emotion is a feeling that puts us in motion. You see, that's a feeling that puts us in motion, but now in the conflict of primary, secondary, what we do is we don't become pure devotees the day we join ISKCON. You see, we may actually not become pure devotees even after lifetimes of being in ISKCON. So one needs to be very centered in what they are. Okay, Arjun is very centered. He's not shying away from showing his attachment to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and it's Krishna right there. Imagine Krishna one-on-one, and he's saying he's attached to his brother, his grandfather, his teacher, and whatnot, and his eyes are filled with tears. He's not even scared to show that vulnerability. His eyes are filled with tears. His skin is dry, trembling, hands are sweaty, Gandiva has fallen, right? So Prabhupada writes, this is the weakness of the heart, but Arjun is not shy from showing it. Krishna is holding it for him. Yes, you are. Let's start from where you are. Why don't you tell me what questions are bothering you? And then he starts talking. He starts talking to Krishna. This is what is happening in Bhagavad Gita. So the question that you raised is that, am I doing Maya or am I doing Krishna? So we need to probably like stop evaluating ourselves so much, because there is a need to make space for more Krishna consciousness in our life. If we are just juggling between this thing, that thing, this thing, that thing, then where are we making the space? It's like, for example, if I'm cleaning my closet during the springtime, and I'm thinking, oh, I might wear this one chilly day on a spring, this particular blazer of mine, so let it be hanging there. And then I want to take another cloth out from a winter pile. I said, no, let me put this there because I might use this pajama for if there is cold day, So basically, I don't clean anything and I add on more. So what I'm trying to say in a simplified manner, Mataji, It's just add the flavor of Krishna consciousness in your life. There's no need. We are not at a stage. Clearly, we are not at a stage very obviously to give up anything. So if you're not at a stage to give up anything, then try to come at a stage to add something. We can do that, right? So what are we going to add? Add Krishna consciousness. You are attached to your children, very good. But you're feeding them, very good. But feed them Krishna prasadam rather than something else. You want to talk to your children, very nice. Can you bring what verse of Bhagavatam you read in your other usual conversations with your children? Can you bring that? A simple, like, keep adding, keep adding, keep adding. I heard one lecture by Swami Bhagwan Keshava Maharaj. He said he considers devotees as agents of Vaman Dev. He said, Vaman Dev pastime, Mataji? So Vaman Dev, what Bali Maharaj goes to Bali Maharaj, says, yes, Brahman, what do you want? Bali Maharaj is like very charitably disposed. What I want, just 3 steps of land. Bali Maharaj like, 3 steps of land? I can give you more, I can give you more. What will I do more? I am small Brahman. I don't need 3 steps of land. Okay, you take. But in 2 steps, everything is covered, you see. And then 3rd step, now you have nothing. So now what? Give your head. So he said that he prays that this is how Krishna enters. He cheats me. So let Krishna cheat you. The little, just add Krishna, a little bit here, a little bit there. Go on living the way you're living. Just add him here. Just figure out, pray to Krishna. The prayer can be, how can I add you in my life today? What more can I do? What more? One time I was driving and I was looking at the roads, and the roads were looking very nice. It was springtime. The trees were filled with flowers, and like, it's very nice. It's not a bad place. But why Krishna says it's a bad place? But I was like, oh, but I saw that painting in Gita Nagri where Krishna's abode has even better flowers and better trees. So maybe same thing, but it's happening over there in a better way. So it just stuck me just while driving. So like, oh, that's nice. So Bhataji, stop this juggle, this highway or my way fight. Krishna consciousness is not about highway or my way. It's about making choices. You make a choice that if you can't give up, then add on to your life. Otherwise, we'll be conflicted between primary emotion, secondary emotion, and then we'll be like primary, secondary, but not making a move. And just being very self-flagellating or criticizing. Am I doing it right? That's why we have gurus. That's why we have senior devotees around us where we can go and ask, am I doing it right? Am I doing it right? The mind, we don't rely on our mind, you see, for self-evaluation. Because the mind will give the feeling that you're describing so nicely: guilt, repression, depression, sadness, rejection, self-flagellation, criticism. It's like, come on, I'm not going to live my life with all those things. I can do better than that. Okay. Shri Mataji, Khava Mataji, you can add on.
Very nicely explained, Prem Kishori. What I would like to humbly just bring to Deepti's attention is the fact that it's perfectly all right to love your children, your family, your everyone, because they're part and parcel of Krishna. Krishna says, or rather, how can you say you love Krishna if you don't love his parts and parcels? So there's nothing wrong. In fact, we have to love one another. That is the nature of the soul. So if you will kindly allow me to share the purport of Bhagavad Gita 13th chapter, verses 8 to 12, right there in the middle, or if you allow me to screen share, I can share the...
I will share for you. You order me.
Okay. It says over there, as for detachment from children, wife and home, it is not meant that one should have no feelings. They are natural objects of affection. So it is only natural that you will love your children. The only thing is, we must see them as Krishna's children and not develop feelings of possessiveness and trying to control them and make them do what we want them to do. Those are the things that are not very healthy. Right there. So on the other hand, if you say, I want to give my children the best, what is the best? Giving them Krishna consciousness. So your love will be perfect and complete as you give them Krishna consciousness. And that is exactly what Krishna wants you to do. And that will bring great joy to you as well as to your kids. And you will have the complete satisfaction that I am giving them the best form of love, which is to make them Krishna conscious. So hope that helps. You can read that part and you'll see for yourself that basically exactly what Prem Kisori said, just add Krishna. Just add Krishna and just see how your family members will blossom with that loving care that you will give inspired by Krishna.
Sure, Mataji. Thank you so much. Wonderful points. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Shri Mataji. I think there is no other question. Srimati, you can stop here. Or maybe Srimati got tired and left. Maybe I can stop.
I don't think anyone got tired, Prem Kishore. It was such a wonderful class and so very deep. I think we really needed all these discussions and all of us profited from the wonderful questions that devotees asked as well as the very in-depth answers that you gave. So thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so
I
much.
completely
Kishori.
echo Sri Devi
Prema, thank you.
Mataji. Prem Kishori Mataji, you are amazing. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
writing all of us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prema Kishori.
Thank you for
It was a
coming,
lovely
everyone.
class. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So this is just an overview. We still have to read Bhagavad Gita in depth,
Yes, thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Srimati, can you end the live stream? I don't have access to end the live.